All right, well, welcome back to another High School Principal Reacts. If you're new to the channel, I'm Brandon. I'm a high school principal, and I'm going to be reacting today to some scenes from Mean Girls. A lot of people have been asking for this one, so I'm not going to react to every single scene. I want to keep it family friendly. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I plan on doing a lot more of these, but this one, The Mean Girls, was by popular demand, so let's get into it.
I'm 16, and until today, I was homeschooled. I know what you're thinking. Homeschooled kids are freaks.
XYLOCARP. Stylocarp.
Yeah, I did a short. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. A short on this about the perceptions of homeschool students. I'm not sure why this still exists, but I don't think this is really accurate. Please go check out my short for my thoughts on homeschool. I'll post a link to it down in the description. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so this is her first day of high school ever in the United States. I think this is kind of sort of a good representation of what that would be like. I think some elements shown there are kind of exaggerated. You know, the writers of the film or the makers of the film want you to think that this is kind of chaotic and yeah, just prior to school starting, people are coming in. I can see this is kind of looks like kind of a neighborhood school where it's maybe in the middle of a neighborhood, and a lot of schools are kind of isolated just to make it easier for buses and things to go in and out. But people are coming in. I saw a couple of students setting stuff on fire. I don't know how accurate that is. But as far as people just kind of milling about, chatting, talking before school actually begins, that's pretty accurate.
The first day of school was a blur. A stressful, surreal blur. I got in trouble for the most random things.
Where are you going?
Oh, I have to go to the bathroom.
You need the lavatory pass.
Okay, can I have the lavatory pass?
Nice try. Have a seat.
Yeah.
I had never lived in a world where adults didn't trust me, where they were always yelling at me.
Don't read ahead.
No green pen.
No food in class.
Bleiben hier in vorgenannten Platz.
So yeah, it is true. I have known some teachers to have that kind of attitude, and in some cases it's, you do want to have your classroom procedures, and there is certainly needs to be an effort to enforce those. But a lot of teachers, like the ones you see here in the movie, kind of take it too far and just have this attitude of wanting to just beat students down into the ground and just not like them very much and not kind of work with them. Certainly not friendly. The old saying I always heard was firm but friendly, or friendly and firm, some version of that. It's okay to be friendly with students. You don't want to be their friend. That's not why you're there. You're there to teach them. And there's, certainly lines of professionalism when you want to draw, but firm but friendly. It's okay to be firm, meaning, here are the rules and this is the way we're going to do our procedures. That's perfectly fine. But the teachers in this movie are kind of taking it too far. And the honest truth is you always have a few out there that kind of ruin it for everybody as far as the behavior of other students. And that is at least part of the reason why these teachers are being so firm about their rules. But I think they're taking it too far. So I skipped some of the movie, wanted to keep it family friendly, but here are a few more scenes. So at this point in the movie kind of centers around this burn book that the main antagonist has. And the unfortunate truth is I was at a high school where you had stuff like this go on, not the burn book that she makes here, but certainly a lot of what we might call cyberbullying, which is bullying, but over the internet or over some sort of social media platform. And unfortunately, we see this a lot nowadays in schools. I mentioned on another video that we don't see the paper notes as much anymore, but what we do see is a lot of group chats, social media posts that are directed at people, targeting people, and if not, outright threatening them, then a lot of times it's all sorts of name calling and stuff like that. And that's kind of what happens here with the burn book. Like I said, a couple of the schools I've worked at in the past have had versions of this where you had, I would say it's probably more girls than boys that will resort to this type of cyberbullying or outright bullying.
I found it in the girls' bathroom. It's so mean, Mr. Duvall.
Is this true?
Yeah, and a lot of times as principal, you get these kind of reports. They, eventually make their way to your desk. And as you can see here, the character played by Rachel McAdams, she actually created the book. I mentioned in another video that about 10% of the time, the person claiming to be bullied is actually the bully. It does work that way sometimes. So she basically got mad at her friends here, and she's claiming that somebody else put this about her, but really she did, in an effort to get back at her friends for kind of abandoning her or being friends with Lindsay Lohan's character. Unfortunately, stuff like this is rather true to life. What happens in the film is a little bit over the top, but versions of this do happen, unfortunately, particularly at middle and high school.
Okay, calm down, Miss George.
Why would someone write that? That's just so mean.
Don't worry, we're gonna find out who did it.
There's only 3 girls in the whole school who aren't in it.
In here, Miss Heron.
Yeah, so you would typically talk to students one at a time like this. And you can see, this does happen sometimes. You try to avoid it, but when one person walks out and the next person walks in, and the person walking in kind of knows what you're going to be asking them about, and there's this moment, where they pass each other and they can't really say anything and right in front of you, but they know, hey, you better not have said anything to the principal, or you better not have gotten me in trouble. And there's kind of this moment where they pass each other. You try to avoid that whenever possible.
What's going on?
Have a seat, Miss Heron.
Yeah, and you wouldn't, again, I forgot he talks to all 3 of them here, of the other girls whose names aren't in this burn book, but you wouldn't talk to them all 3 at the same time like that. You would want to talk to them one at a time.
Have you ever seen this before?
No. I mean, yes, I've seen it before, but it's not mine.
You better get your story straight, Miss Heron, because I'm not messing around here.
It's not ours, it's Regina's.
Yeah, and what he says, get your story straight. Speaking to students at the same time like this, they will often just kind of follow each other, and it's tougher to know really what the truth is. So you would definitely want to talk to them one at a time, individually.
Yeah, she's trying to make it look like we wrote it, but really, she wrote it.
All right. So at this point in the movie, while they're having their little conference in the principal's office, Rachel McAdams' character throws literally printouts of the rumors from this book all over the floor and all over the school, and everyone gets so upset that the principal calls a little assembly here in the gym to try and stop the problem. No principal, he got his shirt wet during the little scuffle. The sprinkler went off or something, and he comes out here in a tank top. No principal would ever do that. He would just continue to wear his wet shirt no matter how bad it was. He would never come out here in front of students in a tank top like this.
Never in my 14 years as an educator have I seen such behavior. And from young ladies. I got parents calling me on the phone asking, did someone get shot?
There is some truth to that. Many times you'll have something very minor happen at school. And, because of how easy it is now for students to, text their parents or send them messages over social media, you'll have parents that'll blow it out of proportion, or a student will give them the wrong information and they'll say, they'll call the school asking all sorts of crazy things. That's why it's very important that you keep your school receptionist or whoever is going to be answering the phone informed, so that they can very quickly, quash that or help you quash that and say, no, we had a minor issue. There's nothing major going on. Also, you typically wouldn't, gather a large number of students in the gym or auditorium like this. I have had situations in the past where, would have some cyberbullying or rumor spreading, and parents would ask that, hey, could you get all of the students in the entire school and make sure that, you clear this up with my son or my daughter, that, everyone knows, wanting you to kind of clear their name for a rumor. And the honest truth is that often draws more attention to the issue. And it's often more effective to deal with that on an individual basis and simply tell the person, hey, if someone else is harassing you, if someone continues to harass you about this rumor, please come see me and I'll deal with them individually, rather than, calling the entire school, or I think he's got the entire junior class like this.
I ought to cancel your spring fling. No. Now, I'm not going to do that because we've already paid the DJ.
Yeah, there is some truth to this also. He says, they have this spring fling, which is basically a school dance that comes up later in the movie. He says, I ought to cancel your spring fling, because they behave so badly. But he said, I'm not going to do that, not because they deserve it, but because he's already paid the DJ. I can relate to that. There's some truth to that there.
But don't think that I'm not taking this book seriously. And what the young ladies in this grade need is an attitude makeover. And you're going to get it right now. I don't care how long it takes. I will keep you here all night.
We can't keep him past 4.
I will keep you here until 4.
Yeah. Also, you can't just hold students indefinitely. As far as the law is concerned, you are kind of the parent. You have, parental rights over students until school is out, or until parents come to collect the students. You're kind of responsible for their well-being and other things. But yeah, you can't keep them all night. That would be a problem. So he's right there. He says, I'll keep you all night. No, I'll keep you here until 4. Yeah, true. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. This one was by popular demand, Mean Girls. If you have other things you'd like me to review, please let me know in the comments or send me a message on what I should react to next. If you haven't seen my other videos, please click the link here to see one of my other reaction videos. And again, I'll see you next time on High School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.